Well, hello and welcome to Fragrance Therapy. I'm so happy you're joining me today for a Goose Creek candle haul. So I've done some hauls in the past, but what I've done with those that's different from this one that I'm doing today is I've reacted to those fragrances when I've smelled them on cold, or I haven't tried them yet, in other words. But every candle that you see here today, I have tried, I've lit, I've allowed for the fragrance to flow through my home, and I'm just gonna give you my initial thoughts. Did I say initial? I meant initial thoughts on each candle. Some of these fragrances I will eventually do a review on, the ones I loved. But anyway, there's a lot to get through, so let me get into it. So I will start with the Boost Eucalyptus and Garland candle. This is what it looks like, the packaging. And it has like a mint green, beautiful mint green color here towards the bottom and here in the front. And this is a part of the aromatherapy collection that Goose Creek has. On cold, before I lit the candle, there was something about it that I felt I would like, that I would really enjoy. It maybe was the eucalyptus note in the cool air. It says cool air is one of the notes, but then there's also a woods note in here. And once I lit this candle, there were things that I was not able to smell on cold that I was able to smell now that the wax was warm. And I think one of those notes was the woods note for me. And it's the reason why I don't really care for this fragrance. This does remind me of something that I grew up around, a hair care product that I kind of grew up around called Luster's Pink Hair Moisturizer. It's not a horrible fragrance, but it's not one of my favorites either. I don't want to have my house smelling like it. Ultimately with this, it changed for me. What it smelled like on cold seemed to be different once I warmed up the wax. So unfortunately, this was not a match for me. I'm sure this is someone's favorite out there. And that reminds me, if there is a fragrance here that you love and I don't end up loving it, I really hope you don't take it personally. People are different. What works for one person may not work for another. Just being honest and letting you know if something worked for me or didn't. This is a candle from the men's candle collection, and it's called River Slate. The thing about this that intrigued me was that it was different than most men's fragrances that I've seen. The thing about River Slate, it is very interesting. It's not like any other candle fragrance that I've had before, because on one hand, it does give off a fragrance, a smell, a scent. It can almost kind of come across as flat or stale. There's no spiciness, no sharp woodsy fragrance or nothing that makes it crisp or clean. But in a way, I actually enjoyed this or appreciated it because of that. I love gourmand or foodie fragrances that smell like desserts and things and pastries and whatnot. But there are some days I kind of am not in the mood for that. And this is where something like this comes in handy, because I may still want to light a candle or have a fragrance flowing through my home, but I just may not want anything really strong. So this serves a purpose. I can see if you are very sensitive to fragrances, sensitive to certain notes, how this would definitely be something you will want to try or that you may want to look into trying. It's just its own fragrance. It's unique. It's just kind of unknown. You know, it's kind of in a gray area. At least that's my experience with this. This was definitely different than any other fragrance I've had in a candle or wax melt. So this is Strawberry Jell. Looks really yummy. So part of the reason I purchased this candle was because I saw a lot of reviews about how much this smelled exactly like the red Jello, the strawberry Jello. And I know what strawberry Jello smells like. I have a scent memory for that. And for me, at least with the candle I received, if I'm being completely just keeping it all the way 100, like there is something red Jello about it, but then there's also something generic about it too, to where it doesn't really differ that much for me from other strawberry candles I've had before. Maybe I had higher expectations for this than I should have. This one it didn't really do too much for me. It didn't end up really just making me feel like, oh my gosh. So yeah, I'm sorry if this is your favorite, and I'm happy that you love it. So that's the strawberry gel, or that was my experience with strawberry gel. And I'll go back and say that with River Slate, I did experience a very good throw with River Slate. Not anything overpowering, but in my 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom home, this did flow through my home very well. And I think the same was true with Eucalyptus and Garland. I would say that this had a good throw as well. Let's see. We'll just go with this one. So this is chocolate swirl bread, and it has some slices of apparently something called chocolate swirl bread that I was not aware existed, but this certainly makes me want to find some and try some. There's something about it that's mixed in with the chocolate note where it's not just chocolate. There's something that makes it distinctively different. I could see this definitely filling up a larger home than what I have, and it's the kind of fragrance that lingers in your home. You'll still smell it after the candle has been put out or after the flame has been put out. So this is one of the ones I am very happy with and really enjoy this fragrance. Next we have Teakwood and Lavender. This is another men's candle fragrance. That's what the jar looks like all around, like a black glossy. You can see all my fingerprints on it, so I'm like, oh, I want to wipe it. Anyway, I'm being ridiculous right now. But yes, so there is there is the men's candle. One of the reasons why I picked this one up is because I love teakwood. I enjoy a teakwood note, but I also love lavender. So I wanted to see what these would be like mixed together, blended together. This is a really nice fragrance. I could almost kind of picture this being a men's body care fragrance, maybe a cologne as well. And I don't know if Goose Creek has this in body care. I don't think they do. I could be wrong. If anyone out there from Goose Creek is watching, that would be really cool if you had some of your men's fragrances. I don't know why I'm doing this, but if you had some of your men's candle fragrances in body care, because this would be, I would totally gift that, not only the candle, but the body care in a teakwood and lavender to a man, more than likely my dad, because that's the only man in my life. It's just a really good combination of that softness that you get from lavender with some strength that you get from the teakwood. And I found this to have a strong throw as well. I do believe that this would fill up a larger space than my 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom without giving you a headache. It's really good, really good. Like, it's not too strong. It's not too strong or spicy. There's nothing spicy about it. So this one is definitely a staple Goose Creek men's fragrance. They should definitely keep this around. I think this is definitely a safe choice that to go with. I think, like I said, most people would enjoy this or be able to appreciate it. Next is Barbershop. That's what it looks like. And if you watched the video that I did with my dad a few weeks back, he reacted to some men's candles, and he said that this reminded him of a barbershop. And once I lit this candle, I could definitely see what he meant. This to me is like a true man's fragrance, like a manly man's fragrance. I could see if you enjoy this one too and you're a woman. Okay, I'm not saying a woman can't enjoy this, but when I smell this, I'm like, okay, this is definitely, I feel like a lot of men would connect with this. This is one I would give my dad for Father's Day and be like, yeah, this is something especially for the fellas, you know? So I smelled that talc, the shaving cream, the aftershave. I don't connect with that. I've never experienced that, but I think there is something about this fragrance that if you do, or you have gone to the barbershop, or if you do have those types of products in your home that you use for your skin and to shave and whatnot, you'll definitely connect with this one. So I highly recommend Barbershop. And as far as the throw, this one did fill up my home. Again, I live in a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom space, but I think this would fill up a larger home as well. Really, really impressed with Barbershop. Next, we'll keep going in this direction. So this is Pink Berry Crisps, part of the cereal collection that Goose Creek has. And I have done a review on this fragrance already, so I won't spend too much time on it. One of the notes in this candles is strawberry pound cake, and it is a sweet fragrance. If you're not really one who cares for the super sweet fragrances, this is not for you. But yeah, there's just something about this that made me enjoy it over strawberry pound cake from Bath and Body Works and strawberry cake pop from Goose Creek. I don't know, there was just more strawberry, as well as I guess that pound cake or that cake note too, that sweetness from the cake. I enjoyed this one. This is another one of my favorites from my haul. Oh, I keep forgetting this. This does have a throw to it, as well as, at least that's what I experienced, was a stronger throw with this. Didn't have any issues with this filling up my 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom space. Next is, this is part of the World Travelers collection, and this one happens to be Netherlands, and there's these beautiful tulips and all of the windmills in the back. This is called Stroopwafels, by the way. There it says Stroopwafels is the official name of this fragrance. I love this. I love it. I knew I would love it because I had the wax melts that I've done a review on. Yes, this has sweetness to it, but it's not as sweet as, say, Pinkberry Crisps. The sweetness is balanced out with the waffle part of the Stroopwafel, and it's just one of my favorites. This is one that I could just let burn, you know, and I have to make sure I don't burn it too long because I could let this go for hours if I don't watch it. I don't have too much to say about it except that I love it. I keep forgetting the throw. It's not to the point where it gives me a headache. Me personally, this fills up my home easily. Now this is one I've done a review on already, and that's what it looks like all the way around. Now this actually is one of, like, hands down, probably my favorite scent. And so unfortunately what I experienced with this though was the wicks on my particular candle, they gave off a burn, I guess you could say a burn smell. You know, once the burnt smell of the wicks blended with the wax, it just wasn't the same. It was completely ruined or sabotaged by these wicks. That was actually a real bummer for me because the wax smells amazing. So I may try to get this again at some point when this comes back and see if some different wicks make a difference. It reminds me of orange soda, but also there is that creaminess or that cream to it, but it is a very fragrant orange soda smell. Now I can't really speak to how the throw performed because with the burning smell of the wicks, I had to extinguish that candle. So I didn't really get to see what the throw was like, but that was my experience with orange cream soda. Next, we have Old Time Lemonade. Now, I had been looking for a good lemon scent, not like a sweet lemon scent necessarily. I don't want the sweetness to overpower the freshness of the lemon. And some of the notes in here are lemon, pineapple, and sparkling water. And on cold, I really didn't know how this would perform just by smelling it on cold, but baby, once I lit this candle and it started to float through my home, it gave me lemon freshness. It was a type of lemon note that flowed through my sinuses, through my nasal passages. Like, that lemon was so powerful. Like, powerful in a good way though. I'm like, yes, give me more of that lemon freshness. That's what I'm talking about. Like, you get that lemon. So very happy with Old Time Lemonade, kind of surprisingly. This definitely gives me my lemon fragrance that I was looking for. Okay, so I'm gonna go with this one here. Now this is called Waffles Ice Cream. And I have actually already done a review on this months ago because I ordered this in the 7-ounce candle. And so I already knew what this was going to smell like. I just was like, okay, I have it in the 7-ounce candle. I wanna get this in a larger size candle because I loved it so much. I won't speak too much on this because I have a review on it. This is just so good to me. Like, it does have that crispiness from the waffle type of smell, almost like a Belgian waffle. It's not super sweet. It's not like a waffle with syrup on it. It's very realistic. It's very realistic to me. And then there's still that cream or that ice cream note that gives it just a little bit of sweetness. I love it. It has that batter note. It does have that toastiness to it. And the throw on this performs really well. This flows throughout my home. Love this one. Love it. It's a type that if you lit this candle and then before company came over, you put the candle out, they would think you had been cooking or baking or something. So next is Limoncello Cupcake. So there's pound cake, lemon, and creamy icing in here. So this one for me, it didn't do much for me. This actually reminds me of a fragrance that I used to purchase years ago. Back when I had just started purchasing candles, I was living on my own, and I used to purchase candles from Walmart because that's all I really knew at the time. And there was a fragrance that they had. It was a lemon candle. If I think of it, I'll put up the name or the picture of it. This kind of reminded me of that Mainstays lemon candle that I had from years ago. Yeah, I don't really remember how the throw performance did. And again, I know this is probably someone's favorite, and hopefully yours performed a lot better than mine did or what I experienced, but I've smelled something like this before. So next is banana pudding. Now this one I was excited about, and doesn't that just look good? That looks so delicious. Goose Creek makes their food on their candles look so good. So banana pudding has banana, vanilla pudding, and cream. So this is one I really, really wanted to love. And while I could smell the fragrance when I had this candle out in my living room, the most I smelled the fragrance was in my living room and my kitchen, which are open concept. But in terms of like being able to smell this all throughout my home, unfortunately it didn't. And that's what I really wanted from this. The thing that's keeping me away from loving it is the throw. It was kind of on a scale of 1 to 10, like a 7 for me, maybe, a 6.5 or 7. Wasn't that I couldn't smell it, it was just that I only smelled it in half of my house. And I even tried moving this candle to different parts of my home. I moved this from the living room to the kitchen at one point, and I thought, okay, maybe if I transfer it to a different place, it'll perform better. But nothing really changed as far as the throw. It's nice. I think someone will enjoy it, but I just wish maybe there was more. I wouldn't have minded a little bit more sugar, a little bit more sweetness, but definitely more throw. So that was my experience with banana pudding, the candle. Now we have key lime cake pop. This is what the key lime cake pop's candle looks like all around. So here's the thing. I've tried strawberry cake pop and pineapple cake pop from Goose Creek. And while I liked strawberry cake pop and I really enjoyed pineapple cake pop, this to me is definitely more authentic. This is the most authentic of the other cake pops I've tried from Goose Creek. I definitely smell the cake batter in this one. This also, in terms of the throw, I would say had a stronger throw. But I guess I wish it had just a little bit of that zestiness from the lime. And so while I do really enjoy this, and I think it is the more realistic cake pop candle of the others I've tried, I feel like what would have really set this off was more of a lime. And for me, this has more sugar than lime. So that is that, but again, that's just personal preference. So we are getting to the end, and this is called Clarity. This is wild mint and birch. Love the packaging. It's a matte kind of a paper. And I like that because you can't see your fingerprints or anything on it. So I love the fragrance. And so it's so disappointing that the throw was not there for me, for my candle. It was not there. I tried to see how this did in my bedroom. I'm here in my bedroom, and I was like, well, maybe I would be able to smell this candle more if it was in a smaller space. And I would say that was accurate. And so if I were to purchase this candle or this fragrance again, it would be a 7-ounce single wick candle that I could just put in my bedroom. The fragrance, it just didn't flow through my 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom home. I mean, this would have been a new fave had it flowed through my home. that is my experience with that candle. Now, the last 3 candles come from the Farmhouse Collection. I love the packaging of these candles. Just the white, glossy. You can't see your fingerprints as much on this one. You can still see them, but not as much as the black candle jar. This is Buttermilk Pancakes. This one has gray wax. And so, okay, with Buttermilk Pancakes, I pick up more so on the syrup mainly, and I'm sure I still smelled some pancake in there too, but this really just reminded me, or had more of a syrupy smell for me. It performed well, I can say, but I guess for me, I just would have wanted more buttermilk pancakes in here. I would, recommend it if you love the syrup note. But yes, that is my thought on buttermilk pancakes. Next, here is Be Still. This is baking a cake. That's what it looks like. Okay, so this is, I think, another case of where the wicks ruined it. The fragrance itself does smell good. Not necessarily anything that makes me say, oh, I've never smelled anything like that, or I could never find anything like this out there. Again, the wicks made this smell like burning cake, or like a burned cake in the oven. If you've ever made a cake and it starts to burn and you're like, oh my gosh, I forgot. That's what the wicks did for this. I mean, it still has a burnt smell. I think in terms of the throw, if I remember correctly, it performed well, but I just couldn't really get into it because of the burnt cake smell, and that's like the worst almost. No one wants a burnt cake. Next is Welcome Home, and this is called, the fragrance is called Butter Cake. That's what it looks like. On cold, I didn't really know what to expect from this. It didn't smell like a cake or anything to me necessarily, but once I lit this is an absolutely delightful fragrance. There's something confectionery and sweet about it, almost like a cotton candy sweetness, something just really carefree and sugary sweet about it. This is the fragrance where I remember when I had this candle burning, where I was like, okay, I know that candle's been burning for a while out there, at least 3 hours, probably 4. I was like, I know I need to go put that candle out, but I don't feel like it because I'm enjoying the fragrance so much. This one, I was surprised at how much I really enjoyed this. I said, just really delightful. Just really delightful. I don't know if I'd say it smells like a butter cake. I don't smell butter or anything. Just a very carefree sweetness about it. And it almost to the point where it makes me happy, or it puts a smile on my face, And so I love fragrances that do that. I love when fragrances have that kind of effect on me. Just give me a very cheerful feeling. So those were all of the fragrances. I'll put all of my favorites up here. There's the butter cake that we just looked at, Old Time Lemonade, Pink Berry Crisps, and Stroopwafel, and Chocolate Swirl Bread. Oh, how could I forget Waffles and Ice Cream? So yes, so those are all of the candles right there. Honorable mentions are Key Lime Cake Pop, honorable mention, but the wicks, ruined it. Clarity, love the fragrance, just wish the throw had been stronger. The same situation with Banana Pudding. I just wish the throw had been stronger for me, and maybe a little bit more sweetness too, wouldn't have minded that. Still a good fragrance though. And then there's River Slate, kind of an honorable mention. And really, quite honestly, I enjoyed all of the men's candles. The ones I really, really connected with, I would say, are these right here. These, I could probably get these in a smaller candle and I'd be all right with that. But these, I'm like, no, I want these in the full size, and that's the only difference. With that being said, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this haul. I hope you enjoyed it and that it was informative in some sort of way, or if you just wanted to see what I had and my thoughts on it. So be sure that you stay tuned for another video coming out. I do have another haul planned, maybe next weekend, we'll see. If you do love all things home fragrances, then be sure that you subscribe to the Fragrance Therapy channel. And I appreciate it if you like the video because that's always really encouraging for me to see. I'm always so happy to get a chance to interact with you all. So even if you just want to say, hi, I'm a new subby, or hi, I enjoyed your video, I will respond. So until next time, I hope that you have a great day or a good night. Bye.